Great, great, great day, family. And welcome to Heart to Heart with Lady Love. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. It's another beautiful day and another great day for another session, right? So come on in, come on in. I am Lady Love, and tonight we're continuing season 2 with episode 2. And this season we know is about embodiment. It's about the consistency of using what we're learning. We've learned the tools. Now it's time for us to use the tools consistently. So tonight's conversation is about how you talk to yourself matters. So do you talk to yourself like you want to heal? It can be amazing as to how we get away from that. Or I should say, don't use the techniques that we're incorporating, right? I even have to continue to do this because not every hard moment requires hard language. And the way we speak to ourselves definitely matters. We already know we're our worst critic, right? If anybody has the audacity to talk bad about us individually, it's us, right? So if that is true, we should be using language to help us to heal, not language to make the situation worse. Life is already hard enough, right? And then we add even more pressure by the way we talk to ourselves inside the pain. So life is already hard. And when we dog ourselves out, we can take a situation and make it so much worse. Is it so much worse or make it worse? I think it's make it worse. So tonight, we're going to just slow that down. We're going to look at the language that we use in our hard moments. What are some of those languages that you know you already use that does not benefit you? Give me some comments on that. What are some of the things you're already using that you know does not benefit you? And we're going to begin to learn how to soften that language. Okay? How many of you want to do that? Give me a yes, yes. Yes, yes. I see you. Welcome, TikTok. Thank you for joining. I see my Facebook fam. Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So take time to do a check-in before we actually even go deeper. When life gets hard, are you more likely to A, be hard on yourself, or B, to try to calm yourself down? Which one do you do? I'm just curious about that. I know for myself, it would be going in. Like, girl, bye. What are you doing? That kind of thing. So go ahead and tell me what do you do? And also tell me where you're joining from. Of course, I see Mr. Davis, Lady Love's hubby. He said yes, yes. So we know we're coming from the ATL, shawty. But where are you coming in from? And let me see some of those names coming across here. Yes, yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So again, welcome to the room, and let this feel very conversational, because that's what we're doing. We're having a conversation in a safe environment. And this is going to be so real tonight. Well, all of them are real. But when we start talking about things from the inside out, it kind of gets a little realer. Y'all like how I make up words? I do it all the time. Okay, so tonight is about more than positive thinking. It's about understanding that your nervous system, I'm going to take it to a little biology real quick. Your nervous system listens to what you talk about to yourself. Yes, your nervous system is always listening. So your body actually hears your words, your mind hears your words, and your emotions hear your words. So what does that mean? Think about that. Think about that. Take a look here. Hello, hello. So, if your body's doing all of that, your body, your mind, and your emotions can actually hear, get my screen back like I want it. Oops. Can actually hear those things. And when you keep repeating harsh, hopeless, condemning language to yourself, does that help you or hurt you? You got all these things that have access to you. So tonight, we're going to work with a very simple truth. I love it. Hello there. Not every hard moment needs hard language. So sometimes what we need in the moment is not another attack on ourselves. We don't need any more criticism. We don't need another sentence that makes the pain even heavier. Sometimes healing begins with what? A gentle sentence. A more truthful sentence. A more grounded sentence. A more compassionate sentence. Would you agree? That's what we need. The negativity is always there, correct? So let me say it like this. There are moments in life when the outside situation is already doing enough. It's already doing enough. Maybe we are overwhelmed, disappointed, grieving, tired. This world will wear you out in itself, won't it? Tired, frustrated. You know, I like to say fascinated, but frustrated. Trying to hold yourself together. So in these moments, what is it that we often say to ourselves? So put yourself in that situation. All these different things going on. What are some of the things that you say to yourself? I know of some that I used to say to myself. I can't do this. What's wrong with me? Right? I always mess things up, especially when I fall in that rabbit hole that we talk about and that I've talked about on some of the other sessions. These are all the things that go on too. I should be over this by now. You ever felt like you just in something just like way too long? I'm too much. You know, we say people be doing too much. Sometimes we tell ourselves, girl, you too much. You're doing too much, shout it, right? What about I'm not enough? Yes. Why? Absolutely. I see that. And what about this one? I'll never get this right. Well, guess what? You're right. You know why you're right? Because you've said that. So if you know you'll never get this right, then you'll never get this right. So how can you focus on wanting to get something right, but you're constantly telling yourself, I can't get this right? Isn't that a conflict that hinders versus helping us to grow? Yes. So let's say how we're going to change this. So we know the moment is already hard, but the sentence made it even heavier, correct? Just thinking about that, right? That's what I noticed that I used to do. And so tonight we're going to focus on that. So sometimes it's not just the situation that is hurting us. Sometimes it's also the language, again, that we're using while we're inside that situation. And many of us learned this early on in life. You know, we learned to be hard on ourselves. We learned pressure language. We learned criticism before compassion, right? Like, we know how to criticize. What you mean compassion? Show compassion. What is that? The negative comes, right? So we've learned perfection before grace. Everybody trying to be perfect. Got to get this right. Got to get that right. I know I was one, because I'm like, if I'm going to do this, it has to be done right. It has to be done tight. It has to be all that and then some. But what about the grace along the way to give myself? That part. So, what would it sound like to talk to yourself like you wanted to heal? Share with me some things that, if you know you wanted to heal, what are some things that you could say to yourself? Let's think about that for a moment. And if this is sitting with you, just comment heal, so I know that you're with me. Just comment heal. So let's get into this first truth. We talked about the body hears your words. The way you speak to yourself affects your emotional state, your stress level, your sense of security and safety with yourself, and your ability to regulate. So if your internal language is always panicked, critical, harsh, hopeless, and condemning, then what do you think your body is doing with that? What do you think? Then your body stays under pressure. But when your body language and your language becomes more grounded, more compassionate, your body begins to experience something different. Yes. We have not fake peace, not pretending, but instead we are now able to change the whole situation. Because it starts with that. So, but you can begin to change the sentence you're repeating inside that situation. So, here's a question to you. What is one sentence that you know you need to stop saying to yourself? Let me see what you got. All right. Okay. I like it. What we got over here? Yes. I see you. Yes. So we're all on the same page, and that's what I wanted to make sure of. So what could those things be to help us to talk softer to ourselves? Yes. Now let's keep going. Now remember, or what I want to say is, softer does not mean weaker. You know, it's amazing how we tend to twist all or a lot of the things that are beneficial. We try to put it into a negative light. So, like, if you're going to be uh, softer in any way to yourself, that means weak. If what is something else? I've seen some other things that will say that if you cry, that's a sign of weakness. Honey, bye. No, it ain't. Right? If you do, it's amazing the different things, but they're always coming up with something negative. So, softer does not mean weaker. Some of us think that if we are gentle, more gentle with ourselves, then we're letting ourselves off the hook. Do you feel that way? And we know that's just simply not true. You can be honest with yourself and still be kind. Honesty doesn't mean that it's got to hurt in the sense of painfulness. Honesty is just being truthful, right? You can be accountable and still be compassionate. Be accountable and still be compassionate, right? So, examples. Let's see what we can do. We can face the truth and still use language to help us to heal. For example, instead of saying, I can't handle this, what could we say instead of saying, I can't handle this? What is something that we could say instead? We could say, this is hard, but I can take one moment at a time. We can acknowledge that it's hard, but we don't have to beat ourselves up. So there again, this is hard, but I can take one moment at a time. Instead of, what's wrong with me? We could say, I'm having a hard moment and I need support, not shame. Support, not shame. Right? Absolutely. And what about, we could do this one. I always mess this up. You know, unfortunately, a lot of our students, as an educator, watching our young ones grow and learn and things, they are very hard on themselves. Would you agree? And if adults are hard on ourselves, we know that the children are. And then the adults are hard on the children. Okay? I do know that, and I've experienced that, and that's why I'm also a voice for the kids. But instead of saying, I always mess this up, try, I'm still learning. And I can respond differently. Instead of saying I'm messing something up, I'm learning. As a matter of fact, I put myself in a position of I'm always learning. So as long as I'm here, breathing day by day, I'm always in learning mode. What can I learn next? What else can I learn today? Because no one is perfect, and we got to continue this process of life anyway. Right? So that'll be better. And these things are not these are not weaknesses, like I mentioned. It is wisdom. It is maturity. It is healing language. We got to start using healing language. Yes, I see you. Absolutely. And if you know you need softer language, comment softer. Comment softer if you know that you need softer language. So here's a practice tool for that. Catch the sentence. So you got to catch it first, and then we're going to change it. Catch that negative, harsh sentence that you may say to yourself. And then we're going to change it. Very simple, very real, very usable. So step one, catch the sentence. What am I saying to myself right now? What are you saying to yourself right now? Step two of that is, and this is a good one, is it true? Because if we say a statement of, I'm always messing up, is that really true? Can't be just 100% all the time, because it wouldn't even make sense, right? You can't be just messing up 100% of the time. So using those always sentences is a danger. So we want to ask first, is this true? Then we want to ask, is this helpful? So let's say it is a true sentence that you're thinking. But is that sentence that you're thinking helpful in your healing? And that's the next question. Is it healing? And finally, is it making this moment in time heavier? Got that? Is it making it heavier in that moment? Yes. Step three, we're going to change the sentence. We're going to choose a sentence that is, what are the features that we said our sentences need to have? They need to be grounded. They need to be truthful. They need to be compassionate. And they need to be steadful. Look, consistent. Let me say that. I can't get my words out right. So remember, I'm gonna run some off that we're gonna start working to replace the things with that we say. Okay. So here we go. This is hard, but what did we say we could say behind that? This is hard, but I can slow down. Right? I need support, not shame. I can take this one step at a time. Even if it's hard, we still can just take one step at a time, correct? Absolutely. I don't have to punish myself to grow. You know, sometimes we deprive ourselves of things in order to think it's going to help us to grow. Well, I won't do this or have this until I do this or discipline myself in this way. It doesn't have to be negative. So you don't have to punish yourself to grow. I can speak to myself with care and truth. And that's what we should do. Speak to ourselves in care and truth. Let's do a mini practice. One old sentence. I can't do this. New sentence. Why don't you give me a new sentence? I just gave one, but you can still build off of that. So, I can't do this. What could you say? Let me see in the chat. What could you say? Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, I see you. I see you. So we did one, but we can also say, this is hard, but I'm still here. Doesn't that feel more empowering? oh man, this is hard. Like my students at school, all my babies at school, this is hard. Yes, but you still here. See that just makes you feel better in knowing that you can just say that, right? Yes. Old sentence. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? New sentence. I'm having a hard moment and I deserve care. So what's wrong with me? I need some care. I need some care. I need some truth. I need some help. Right? There's nothing wrong with you. The situation had you feeling that way. So there again, we can slow down. We can ask for help. Old sentence. I'll never get through this. Remember, what did I say? If you say that and you believe that, you're telling your mind that, you're telling your body that, you're putting that pressure. So it's going to be true in that sense, but not true in the real sense, right? So the new sentence, I can take this one moment at a time. You know, one of my professional developments and personal development authors that I really resonate with, well, I resonate with all the ones that I really take in, but one that just stood out with this particular one is Susan Jeffries, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or have read that, but one of the things that I really took away from that, and when I'm having one of those hard moments, is everything is happening perfectly. Now you got to really think about what that means. Think about what that means. Everything's happening perfectly. And think about that and what that really means. And we'll come back to that. So, put in the comments if you need it. Catch it, change it. Got it? Catch it, change it. So, time you feel yourself saying something negative, catch it and change it. So let's have a purple power pause. You know I like to have my purple power pauses. Let's take one full breath and exhale it out. Let's do it again. And exhale it out. You know, just doing that within itself grounds you a little bit more, if you allow it to. If you genuinely take that deep breath in and you hold it and you release it, it's amazing the things that the body will do on its own. Now, say this with me. I can speak to myself with truth and compassion. Your turn. I can speak to myself with truth and compassion. Got it? I do not need harsh language to heal. I do not need harsh language to heal. I choose language to steady me, to keep you steady. Pause between lines, let it settle. Right? Got that? Yes, I see you. Hello, hello. So let's go to teaching number 3. Healing as a language. So here's another truth. Healing has language. And if you keep speaking to yourself in the language of defeat, shame, and hopelessness, it becomes harder to feel steady, right? It becomes hard to feel steady. Now, let me be clear. This is not pretending. This is not fake positivity. This is not acting like pain is not pain. Because pain is pain. Trust and believe. That is for sure. This is about choosing. Remember, we talk about the choices we make. Choosing the language that tells the truth without destroying yourself. That makes sense? You can tell the truth without destroying yourself. You know how a lot of times we'll say things as far as, even with other things, the truth hurts. Says who? Says society. Says the famous people of the world. They. I've always said when people say, well, you know what they say? Who is they? Tell them to call me, text me, or something so we can have a conversation. Because they don't know what they talking about, okay? So, you don't have to destroy yourself. Healing language sounds like this. I'm overwhelmed, but I can slow down. I want you to begin to get in the habit of saying that. One of the other habits, instead of saying I'm frustrated, I've been saying this for a very long time. Instead of saying I'm frustrated, say I'm fascinated. It can still have the same impact on what the situation is. Because fascination can apply to anything, but frustration definitely applies to negativity and tenseness and all of that. But when you say frustrated, for example, I used to say how frustrated I get in traffic. In fact, I'm allergic to traffic, truth be known. I am allergic to traffic. Therefore, what I do say, instead of saying traffic frustrates me, now I say traffic fascinates me. And it does. I am fascinated by how many people drive that shouldn't have a driver's license, that maybe got it out of a cookie cereal box. You know, I'm fascinated that the truck drivers can drive in all the lanes now with no problem. That just fascinates me to no end. See how that has a different impact? I'm giving the truth, but I'm saying it in a way that's not harmful to myself, but yet I'm fascinated by that. You like that? Yeah, I like that too. Hey, hey. Okay. So we can say things like, I'm hurting, but I'm still worthy of care. Just because you're hurting, that doesn't have to be a negative thing. Ooh, y'all, my legs hurting right about now. I don't know what in the world. It's like they aching. I don't know. I'm fascinated by that. So, what about this one? I'm struggling, but I am not without hope. Like we say, the struggle is real, right? The struggle is real, but we're not without hope. See how it just gives a whole different vibe to the situation at hand. Whole different vibe. I'm learning how to respond differently. Or as I would say, I'm learning how to respond instead of react. But even when we learn how to respond, we also can respond differently. Right? Yes. Absolutely. So this kind of language is going to give yourself the healing that you need and the ability to breathe. Because you don't have a closed-ended situation. There's always a spin that you can put on your language to make things better. Once you do that, your mind responds differently. Your body responds differently. Your brain processes responds differently, and you can even come to see an answer for something that you may be having a challenge with faster because you've put yourself in a different perspective. Does that make sense? Yes. So I want you to think of a good, gentle sentence that you can practice this week. And inbox me or let me know about it. Some of my babies that's on here from school, tell Miss Purple about it. Let me know what it is. Okay? And I want to take a pause right here to let you know that if this is helping you tonight, I would really, really like for you to do me a favor. One, follow me if you're with me. And two, share this with someone who needs it. Right? And if this message connects on a deeper level, I want you to do this. And I want you to know the different things that I do. So, I do work beyond this show. I speak, I teach. I help people process life, shift perspectives, and move with more intention, healing, and purpose. So if you're looking for a speaker, for an event, for a women's group, your church, your school, your team, your community, please let me know. If you're interested in transformational coaching and heart-centered support, reach out to me because this is bigger than these episodes. This is a part of the work that I have a deep passion for, serving, educating, and empowering. And Beautiful Hearts, this season is also helping us to build towards something very special. Hi! And that's going to be the 10-year anniversary of How to Love Stress and Live Longer. And what's going to make this so beautiful is the fact that I'm living through the lessons that I have even learned from my book over these 10 years and using that to create the anniversary. So it's like the words coming up off the pages and just into life experiences, and then I'm going to put that into the anniversary edition. So stay close and stay tuned for all of that. And I'm excited about that. I still can't even believe it's been 10 years. But let's bring this down into real life. This tool can help. Okay, so I want you to practice using this. We're almost at 40 minutes. In your family conversations. Let's use this in disappointment. Let's use it in grief. Let's use it in stress, being overwhelmed, in the moment of self-doubt. That can happen so quickly, and you got to be ready. Instead of giving in to that, change it, right? When you're tired, when you feel like you want to just shut down, that's when you got to pull it, baby. You got to pull it out. When you feel like a snapping, snap, crackle, pop, that's when we got to use this. So sometimes your healing is going to start with sentences like, let me slow down, right? That's where those breaths can come in. Let me slow down. I need some support right now. It's okay to need support. That's why we're all here. That's why we can't function 100% in isolation. We weren't created that way. So it's okay. I need support. This is hard, but I need to breathe right now. But I can breathe right now. And a good point to use this with our students, with all these testings, environments that are coming up that is so stressful and all of those things, think about the positiveness that you can say to yourself. Even if the test feels hard. This is hard, but I can breathe. This is hard, but I can take me a moment. It's going to help you. I don't need to be cruel to myself. Don't be cruel to yourself. We live in a world that's full of cruelty as it is. You don't need to be doing it to yourself. And the ultimate goal is to help others not do it to themselves, and we shouldn't be doing it to others. That's the ultimate goal. And I can respond to myself with care. These are healing sentences, and the more we practice them, the more they become natural. Just like all this negativity that we've been using over these years, it comes natural at this point. And when you change it and you consistently use it, it will become natural, like a habit, right? Absolutely. So let that sit. And in closing, here is the heart of it. You ready? Not every hard moment needs hard language. Right? If I want to heal, I have to talk differently to myself. Because what I tell myself definitely matters. Catch the sentence and change the sentence. Got it? Choose words that help you to breathe instead of break you. Words to help you breathe versus break. Breathe. Don't break. Breathe. So again, if tonight's message helped you, again, please share it. Always feel free to share it. Follow me. Share it with someone else. Comment, heal. I had a couple of people that sent me a inbox that they really appreciated the healing portion of not every hard situation needs hard language. So that's the big takeaway. Think that to yourself. Grow with that. Make sure you stay connected, because again, this work is not just about content, it's about transformation. So join me next week on Heart to Heart with Lady Love as we continue Season 2, which is Tools, Courage, and Living on Purpose. And next week, we're going to be learning and leaning into how to interrupt the stress in real time. Interrupt stress in real time. And this is going to definitely be for a lot of people, right? So be ready. Respond to the content that I put out there, the Purple Power Pauses. Comment on them, if you will, and share them so that we can continue to grow this community. So I'm excited. So remember, respond, don't react. And I will see you next time, beautiful people. I love you. Here we go. And I promise I'm going to work on this part too. This ending. All right, family. Have a great evening. Have a great week. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, thank you. I love it. Thank you all for joining me. Have a great week. Respond. Don't react. Catch the sentence. Change the sentence. You know what to do. really want to say bye. I'll see you next time. All right? And remember, who loves you? Lady Love. Night, night.